1994, I was 4 years old, you know what I mean? So I missed a critical part of techno within the city, you know? So there was obviously like Storm Rave, Adam X, Frankie Bones, you know, Joey Beltram. They created this shit in the city.
Yeah.
You know, it's the foundation of those kind of parties in New York, period, end of story, you know? I mean, I will always love Coney Island. Coney Island to me is like, I don't think there's anything like it in the world, you know? Having the boardwalk, you have those moments where you could just hang out anywhere. I don't think that a lot of people have those opportunities. You know, some kids that probably had been to like Disney World or other things, you know, already, they would have got there, they'd be like, oh man, fuck this, like, what is this? Yeah. But for me, it was like the coolest thing that I ever saw, you know? I'm still very much obsessed with where I grew up, but see, it's a real Brooklynite thing. Like, you have this thing where it's like, you don't want to get caught back in your area for too long. You know, you don't want to stay there for too long. You want to leave. Young Male was one of the first people to ever give me a shot in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
He was the first person to ever put me on a bill to play Bossa Nova. And my first time going to Panorama Bar and Burgon. He played live for the Work Them Records label party. And I saw him the night before with masking tape and the 909 on top of the table, and it was like, bam, 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 and I was like, fuck that, man. I was like, I'm good, no way, you know? Yeah, and then, yeah, the next night, one of the coolest things I'd ever heard, you know? Unreal. So, worth it, you know? Yeah, man, crazy, dude, nuts. So, Emissions was founded by myself and my best friend, Kayazo. The main focus was just to be responsible for our own stuff. And that's why I think the first two I did, I was number 1 and 2, he was number 3, and then at that point, we sort of graduated to like, okay, you know, we can sign someone else. I think this was actually CYD, this one, was the only, he was the only person that we signed that I didn't meet in person. This is also the only ambient experimental record on the label. And that's what kind of drew my attention to it, because there's obviously a ton of thought going into these records, and there's an IDM record on this that is like, I think it's called One Wing. That's why we just went for it. But more or less, I like to meet the person. Touch wood, like really thankful for the people that we have on board now. Yeah, I mean, we've been running and we're super happy. That's it, you know.
Can you hold that?
So this one, the My Leader project. This was my debut on records, because I had released on special projects. It was the more techno leaning side of the label. This was remixed not once, not twice, but by Mark Broom, and also by Spencer Parker. So yeah. But this one was really special, really important. It was the first time that I had locked down that kind of usage of just wanting to make sort of like a powerhouse record, I guess. It's my first crack at it, you know. I don't know if everyone likes playing their own music all the time, you know. And yeah, of course you should play your own shit, you know, and stuff. But I think it's more fun to play stuff that nobody's ever heard before. Where it's like, if it's a record that's unreleased, that you haven't played for anyone, and you play it, and it does really well, you're like, okay, great, I'm confident. And if it clears the room, then try it again. But don't, you know. The Moments of Peace within the title, I think I was just finding a balance within myself to realize that I could do it.
Yeah.
You know. I heard the sample, I forgot what movie I was watching, and then I heard it. And even one of them I actually recorded off my TV via the iPhone. And I got that done and I cleaned it up, and then we put it on the record. And I sent it to Matthew Edwards, I sent it to Radio Slave almost immediately. I kind of went on it, and then I kept rinsing it at him and rinsing it, and then finally he was like, oh, he's like, this is great. And then the other ones sort of followed, but it was the A1 that was, the A1 was like a long-standing bit of the project before those other ones came along. I had done this record, mixed it, tucked it away, and I thought I had a project right away, and then I saw that project as a project that I was still getting away with, like this powerhouse sort of, you know. I was like, let's see how far I could push this, you know. And that was it. And I'm happy that it appeals to both sides of both techno and house music.